We the people, we the people, we the people, we the people.
United States of America.
How you doing? My name is Daniel Happnie. I want to thank the people at We the People Rhode Island. I'm here only to talk to you viewers, and why I'm here for you viewers is I got to ask you a question. What exactly do you viewers stand for? Behind me is the Constitution of the United States. Are you for freedom of speech, or are you for free speech zones? Are you for the right to defend yourself? Once again, we have to start thinking with our children, in our future, what do we stand for? And if we can tell you that torturing those people over there because they have a different colored skin based on a lie called 9/11, what's to keep them from torturing your family? And by the way, if you discover the Military Commissions Act, have you read it? Can we now torture Americans? So I've got to ask you, do we stand for torture? Do we stand for secret prisons? Do we stand for warrantless wiretapping? Or is the Fourth Amendment worth reading? Now we're told soon we're going to have, universal service. Yes, servitude. Yeah, hi servants, how are you doing out there? Do we stand for the 13th? Yeah, the one that says, you can't have any slaves in America. No, just doesn't cut it. So we're going to decide this piece of paper. When I say piece of paper, this great script that was created by people who gave their lives, the cost being blood. I'm not going to ask you for blood today because soon you'll be asked for blood and it won't be me asking. But more importantly is, what do you stand for? And if we give up our ideals, then is it a country? Is it the country that you want? At what point does it become important? At what point do the ideals become important? If torture's okay over there, it might be okay over there. It might be okay down there. If wiretapping and spying on Americans is okay now, well, gee, why do you need a Fourth Amendment? People will tell you, well, I got nothing to hide. Were the founders who created this document, by the way, has anybody read it? If you were to read it, does it limit the people or does it limit the government? What makes us different? Why do people want to come to the United States? Why are we being, educated over time or conditioned to believe that we live in a democracy? When if anybody wants to bother to read the pieces of paper, they'll find out what? We have a republic, and there's a huge difference. And we have forgotten all that because we've gone and we've been conditioned. And if you don't think you out there in the audience has been conditioned, do a couple things for me. First thing I'd like you to do, you probably have a television in your house. I'd like you to go and see if any of your loved ones are watching it. Enter the room that they're in. Maybe stop at the threshold. Look at the person, look at the television. The person, the television, the person. Make funny faces, gestures. Don't say a word yet, though. Just kind of, until finally they go, what is it? Then ask your loved ones one question. Why do they call it programming? And leave the room. Come back about 10, 20 minutes later because, they know you and they know you're probably just messing with their head. And then ask them, why do the people who write it, why do the people who produce it, why do those who distribute it, why do they all call it programming? Is there any chance that you, the viewer, has been programmed over years and years? Do you realize there are only 6 media corporations feeding you 95% of what you see and hear and read? Have they lied to you before? Do you think they'll lie to you again? Do you remember when they said, we don't listen to Americans' phone calls? Then we found out they were. Guess they lied to you. Then they said, we don't have secret prisons. Then you find out they did. There was rendition flights. We sent people to Syria to get them tortured. We sent Canadians. They weren't even Americans. We sent them to Syria, got them tortured. And then our president stood up in front of a podium, George, no different than Obama, but he stands up and he says, we're going to close those facilities. Yeah, then they told us there were weapons of mass destruction. I'll never raise taxes. I didn't have sex with that woman. Should I go through the list? Why I say this is, have you been lied to before? Are there criminals in government? Was this the first time? Have we ever had criminals before? Here I am in Rhode Island, land of Cianci. Yeah, well, if you give total power to a federal government, what happens when you get a Cianci? You know, if we create fusion centers where we pull in all the data and we get to spy on you and your neighbor, and Obama gets his tattletale squads, what happens when you get a Cianci? So, for you viewers out there, is it important for your children? What do you stand for? And thanks.
Hey, what's up? It's Jay, We the People, standing in for Johnny K today. It's the 26th of January, 2009. This is We the People of RI. We're at Nostalgia's again in Warwick. Just bringing it to you live as we always do. Some current events going on. Mr. Geithner has become Treasury Secretary. Some guy that didn't pay his income taxes is Treasury Secretary. Yeah, true. There's nothing wrong with that, but I still don't like the guy. What else is going on? 70,000 jobs lost today alone. They're calling it Bloody Monday. So that name suits the event well. I agree. You know, we're looking at some bad downturns in the economy. Things are only going to get worse, in my opinion. I've been on this television show screaming at you people since like last year, saying, "Watch the economy, watch the economy." And, you know, nobody paid attention. But we've been in a recession since last year. You know, stop listening to the same economists you always do. Check out Peter Schiff, man. Like, guy knows what he's talking about. And just to keep it on the economy, I've been using this analogy for a while, the past couple weeks, trying to tell people what it's like. We're a little consumer on an island, right? You have the wave or bubble of the mortgage crisis, the housing market. That's kind of hit us. Behind that is a credit card crunch. Iceland just got hit with it, and they collapsed. And that's coming our way soon enough. And then that's an even bigger wave. And then behind that one is hyperinflation. And we're really headed that way too. And just wait till the whole world loses confidence in the dollar, because the dollar is declining. People are getting out of it more and more and more. And we don't have the manufacturing capabilities to make the things that these other countries sell us. And once they don't want our dollar anymore, what the hell are we going to do then? You're going to push a wheelbarrow full of friggin' money to go get a loaf of bread? You're going to stand in line for bread? Just think about all that. But again, this is We the People, January 26th. Doing it free. Check it out.
This concludes this program broadcast. We the People, a freedom of speech television show. Go to www.wethepeopleofri.org.